Swedish food. It's definitely more than just meatballs. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a Swedish meatball? I have no idea what it is. That is so chocolatey and thick. My entire mouth is coated in this cake. But what is it actually made up of? Today, I teamed up with 3 of my subscribers to explore 6 different dishes plus a little fika break for us to learn a lot more about this culture's food.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna and I live in Linköping in Sweden.
Hi Beryl, my name is Henrik and I grew up all around Sweden, but currently I live in Stockholm.
Hi everyone, my name is Robyn and I come from a very small town in the southwest of Sweden called Tibro. The first one is Ragun Mflesk och lingonsylt, which in English would be savory potato pancake with bacon and lingonberry jam. Bacon is not a necessarily very Swedish thing. This is the very traditional way is to have it with pork belly. And lingonberry jam, I think it's kind of hard to describe what it tastes like unless you've actually tried it. It's pretty tart, but also pretty sweet. It's a very, very unique taste, I would say.
Sweden used to be a very poor country. A third of Swedes actually left in the late 1800s to the US. So we have a long history of these very simple and hearty foods that make up our classic cuisine.
This looks like a classic American breakfast of waffles and bacon. The lingonberry jam is a little more Swedish, but it's not syrup. I was expecting the bacon to be inside the waffles, but on top is okay too. This is a big bite. I know because I felt it, that made my eye go a little bit crazy. I just want to say quickly, a lot of people have asked me about my eye. This is something called Marcus gun, and it's just where the muscle for the eye is attached to the lower jaw instead of the upper jaw, so when I chew, the eyelid flutters. Now you all know about my fluttering eye. The waffle is really good with the lingonberry jam because the lingonberry jam is a little bit more sour. It's actually one of my favorite jams for a while. It was the only jam that I had in my house, so I was using it with everything. The bacon is crunchy and together, obviously, it's a match made in heaven. Bacon and waffles is something I think the whole world can get behind. I know that traditionally this dish is served more like a thin pancake, but this restaurant decided to go a little bit quirkier, make it a waffle. The waffle tastes, actually, does the waffle taste any different? It does. The waffle tastes different than an American waffle. It's definitely not as sweet and it's much thinner, which I really like. And I think with the pairing of the bacon and the lingonberry jam, it's fabulous.
So for the first dish, I chose the smörrebröd with Gentleman's Delight, or gubbröra. So in Swedish, Gentleman's Delight is called gubbröra, which is not as nice or appetizing sounding as Gentleman's Delight. Essentially, it's just a fancy egg salad with herring or anchovies in it. So the word smörrebröd is Danish, and we do not call it smörrebröd in Sweden, but the concept of an open-faced sandwich with generous toppings is essentially the same. So this is a very savory dish, usually served on rye bread, and you would have it for celebratory occasions. It goes really well with a beer or a schnapps if you're in the mood for that.
I appreciate that this is called Gentleman's Delight. That is a wacky name for a dish. What about Women's Delight? You know? I don't know how much of a fan I am of pickled herring, and there's a lot of pickled herring in this episode. I guess I am a fan of pickled herring. With the potato salad, the pickled herring is not overwhelming at all. It has a nice fishy flavor and it's very soft. Maybe the potato salad also has eggs in it because I feel like I'm tasting egg whites, but the creaminess and the almost mustardiness of the salad is really good with the herring. I like it. There's rye bread on the bottom of this, and rye bread has that really strong flavor and it's a little bit of a drier bread. I think it goes really well because it's not a chewy bread. Sometimes I always feel like there's too much bread in things, but this is the perfect combination.
Of course, I can't talk about Swedish food without taking up fika, or the coffee break which we take together. In contrast to most other coffee breaks, this is more about the social relationship and interaction. For example, you will take it with your colleagues both in the morning and in the afternoon, or with a good friend where you can sit and talk for hours. This is most often done over a cup of coffee or tea together with a cookie or a bun.
So I'm going to take a fika break with the sponsor of today's episode, Trade Coffee. Since it's the holiday season, I'm going to make a festive drink. I'm going to make a peppermint mocha from their holiday peppermint mocha kit. To the coffee lover in our lives, Trade Coffee is an amazing coffee subscription company. From the casual coffee drinker to the true coffee connoisseur, they have tons of coffees to entice anybody. They have personalized subscription plans with top quality coffee from the nation's best roasters. And each month, you'll get a different coffee roasted to order and delivered totally fresh. Aside from their coffee subscriptions, they also now have drink kits, brewing kits, and amazing coffee sets. My coffee is ready. Yum, it's minty and chocolatey. It was super easy to make. This is a great fika break, even though I'm alone. So this holiday season, consider gifting Trade Coffee to somebody that you love. From their tailored coffee subscriptions to their amazing gift boxes, there's definitely something for everybody. Go to tradecoffee.com/Beryl to find your perfect gift this holiday season. Link is in the description.
So the second dish I chose is the smorgasbord platter. So not really a dish, but a selection of dishes. This platter contains one of my favorite foods, which is Janssons frestelse, or Janssons temptation. And this is a potato casserole which has Swedish anchovies in it. So yet again, this is a very savory and salty dish. It's also very creamy, and I would not feel it was Christmas without it. Another thing that you find on this plate is Gravlax.
Gravad is actually a really old way of preparing meat and fish in Sweden and other parts of the Nordics. It is done by applying salt and sugar to the meat and then traditionally burying it in dirt. Nowadays we don't do that. We just put it in the fridge like normal people, and we still keep that tradition going. It is usually served with some dill and some lemon slices, and then the most important part, hovmästarsås.
Another very Swedish thing on this platter is of course the pickled herring. We do this a lot, both for the smorgasbord, but also in the summertime people like to have pickled herring with fresh new potatoes, sour cream and chives. When you're new to herring, some people find the texture a little bit challenging, and if you do, I would recommend you to try it with some potato.
Of course, we can't forget the Swedish meatballs with mashed potatoes, gravy, lingonberries, and pickled cucumber. This is not just an IKEA dish. We actually do eat it and enjoy it. If you're in school or even at home, this is something that you have often. My grandmother, who grew up and lived on a farm her whole life, she would make this at least once a week for the whole family.
I love a plate with a little bit of everything, and this has a lot of things that I totally love on it and a lot of things that are gonna be new to me, which is cool. So we're gonna start with the potato casserole. It has this crunchy layer on top that I'm not sure what it is, but my mouth is about to find out. I'm still not sure what it is. I have no idea what it is. It's dry and it's not super crunchy, but it gives a little bit of crunch with the soft potato casserole. I like how the potatoes are shredded like hash browns, so you don't have big pieces of potato in your mouth. It makes the whole thing super delicate. Next up, we have the gravlax, which is truly one of my favorite foods in the entire world. My mom makes gravlax at home and it just blows my mind every time. It has made me think that a salt episode could be really cool to see dishes that are cured with salt around the world, but like I don't know if there's a ton of them, so let me know. I'm just eating the gravlax on its own because I don't need bread for this. Oh my God. It is so soft and silky, almost like butter in your mouth, and the mustard sauce pairs with it so well because it has this sweet additional creaminess to it, but it's strong, so it's not just like you're having cream on cream. You cannot taste the salt in the gravlax. It's just something that helps create the gravlax itself, so it's not a salty dish at all. Now we have two different types of pickled herring on here. I tried the pickled herring with my Gentleman's Delight and I liked it. These pieces of pickled herring are much bigger. This one has sour cream on top of it, some chives, and some red onion, so I'm curious what that combination is going to be like. Sour cream flavor is actually quite strong because the fat content is so high, and with the briny and slightly sweet pickled herring, it goes really well. It cuts that fishiness out of the pickled herring. This looks like it's in the same mustard sauce that the gravlax was in, and it has the dill, so It's still nice, but I like it much more with the sour cream. Next up, we have meatballs. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a Swedish meatball? There's a lot of things on this plate that have been new, but I have definitely had my fair share of Swedish meatballs before because when I was first out of college, my entire apartment came from IKEA, and if you go to IKEA and you don't get Swedish meatballs, what are you doing at IKEA other than buying cheap and kind of good-looking furniture? A Swedish meatball just tastes different than any other kind of meatball. It doesn't have as much seasoning in it, that is for sure, as like an Italian meatball might have. I actually did 2 meatball episodes, and I did make Swedish meatballs in that episode, so there is a recipe on my website if you want to try making them at home. It's honestly pretty simple. I am supposed to try it with this pickled cucumber salad, which is something I've never done before. It's briny, so now I have salty, sweet, and sour. The cucumber salad is really nice. This is a good pickled cucumber salad. Solid, but definitely on the vinegary side.
And for your main, I have chosen potatis och purjolökssoppa. This simply boiled potatoes and leeks mixed with cream and some other herbs and spices. I think the beauty in this really lies in its texture. When it's done correctly, it is velvety smooth and it's just so thick. And I think it tastes like sitting inside during autumn when the rain's beating down on the window and you need something comforting. That's the taste of this for me.
Look who just joined me, my perfect assistant. Hello, Asha, do you want a little piece of bread? Yes, please. Next, we're gonna be trying this potato leek soup. It is a thick soup, and I do really like a thick soup. And I really like leeks. You can really taste the leeks. They offer that kind of oniony flavor that's not too strong because a leek is not the strongest flavor, and then the potatoes are making this creamy. I like the onions on top as well. They're nice, give you a little bit of that caramelized sweetness. This is definitely like a wintry, comforting soup, something that when it's cold and snowy outside, someone serves you a thick potato soup, you're like, yeah.
So for dessert, I chose crispy Swedish waffles with jam and whipped cream. In Sweden, we do have like a special day or holiday for pretty much any sweet treat. So we have the cinnamon bun day, we have the mudcake day and waffle day, and many more. The concept of the waffle day came from the Vårfrudagen, which is the day in Christianity when Virgin Mary is told she's gonna have baby Jesus. Swedish waffles are quite thin and crispy, and you serve them with some kind of berry jam. I hope you like it.
She's the best co-host. The little heart-shaped waffles, these are so Swedish to me, and they're so cute with cream and lingonberry jam. The theme is obviously lingonberry jam in this episode. Everything has it. Oh yeah. Actually, that was raspberry jam, not lingonberry jam. Well, lesson learned. FYI, the waffles are not with lingonberry jam. Get some raspberry jam, get a little bit of sour cream or whipped cream. Beryl. Those waffles are so good. I don't know if it's just because the waffles are in a heart shape, but I also do feel like Swedes do desserts really, really well, which is why we have 2 desserts in this, and pretty much every dessert on the menu was recommended to me when we were going over the order with everybody, so we know that desserts are a part of the culture for sure. These waffles, as opposed to the ones that I had with the bacon, are so much softer and a lot sweeter. I mean, it also could be because of the whipped cream and the raspberry jam, but I also feel like it's the waffle. Come on, man. I don't even have a napkin. That was the bag.
For dessert, I want to recommend kladdkaka or sticky cake.
Oh my, you are in for a treat. The closest thing I could compare it to is a brownie, but it is absolutely not a brownie. Kladdkaka is supposed to be sticky and still kind of runny, almost like a lava cake, but not exactly as runny as a lava cake. This is such a common thing to see in Swedish cafes, in restaurants, and most people know how to make this one as well.
This is a very easy to make dessert, and it's one of the first ones I learned to make.
It's usually pretty heavy. You can't have it like too much of it. So to add something, you know, kind of sugary or light or creamy is a really, really good option. And I really hope you will enjoy this one.
I'm giving her another little piece of bread because she's so good. This bread has nothing on it, by the way. It's just plain. And she loves bread, don't you? Okay, we have our chocolate cake, which apparently goes by a lot of different names, like the sticky cake, the mud cake, chocolate lava cake. It's definitely thick. This is a thick chocolate cake. And I love how beloved this is, but to be honest, I am not really a chocolate fan. And this is looking like it's very chocolatey. It's not that I don't like chocolate, it's just that I never crave chocolate. That is so chocolatey and thick. My entire mouth is coated in this cake. It is interesting, like it's not a flourless chocolate cake like it says on the menu, but it's also not a chocolate lava cake at all. It's like a fudge cake. That's what it's like to me. If you are a chocolate lover, this is your dream cake right here. It's worth it for you to go to a Swedish restaurant just to get this chocolate cake if you are a chocolate lover. I'm gonna have a blueberry. That helps cut the chocolate a little bit. I'll have one more bite of this. I mean, I don't not like it. Ooh, gets you right in the back of my throat. Like my whole mouth is salivating and tingling from it. Chocolatey. I hope you enjoyed this episode exploring Swedish food, and now you know that it's definitely more than just IKEA meatballs. I'm leaving everything that I ordered in the description along with everything else that everybody recommended. And until next week, I'm leaving you with more episodes in our delivery series so you can continue to explore cultures through food at home. Oh my God, I'm so full. Ugh.